California has proposed to legalize treatment centers, and the bill has failed. Democrats in the Senate Appropriations Committee opted alongside hundreds of bills, the LA Times. Senate Bill 1012, or the Regulated Psychedelic Facilitators Act, sponsored by State Senator Scott Wiener, sought to legalize treatment centers where adults, age 21 plus, could have had supervised access to psychedelic substances, including psilocybin, psilocin, DMT, MDMA, and mescaline. Wiener's attempt this year at psychedelic reforms in California was a step back from last year's decrim proposal, covering certain psychedelic plants, including mescaline-containing plants, ayahuasca, San Pedro, Wachuma, and peyote, DMT, psilocybin, and psilocin, that's mushrooms. The proposal was also blocked when it was vetoed by Gavin Newsom. Regulated Psychedelic Facilitators Act has been crafted to address concerns raised last year in the governor's veto mess. The proposal included training and licensing requirements for would-be psychedelic facilitators, provisions for a new regulatory agency in charge of overseeing the facilities, public education initiatives covering the safe use of psychedelics. What's happening here is, this is all code speak for, instead of decrim and returning these substances or giving these substances to the people in a harm-reduced manner where we can explore and share together, what they're trying to do is, the point of their ego control and the need to money is they're trying to set up more bureaucracy, more regulations, more needs for insurance and taxation, and they're trying to funnel this all into the $3,500 to $10,000 per trip modality. The number one thing about psychedelics, I got to give a shout out to Hyphae Labs, Reggie and the folks down there in Oakland, and also my friend William Padilla Brown, because not only are they amazing mushroom growers and psychedelic thought leaders and wizards, but they're pointing to one of the number one issues going on with the current models that are being rolled out, which is the communities that are most impacted with PTSD and other factors who really need access to these substances are shut out when you're requiring, $3,500 to $10,000 per experience. And so I think this stuff like this, really, it falls on us when we see this. Everybody in the chat, everybody here, my fellow correspondents, actually throw out an email to your state senator, your state representative. Look for petitions to sign. And let's move towards a decrim model, because the thing about a decrim model is it keeps corporations out, and it really democratizes access. It allows access to everyone. I really like the grow, gather, gift model. Fair exchange is fair. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, why did they veto this bill? Does it say specifically?
They didn't veto it. The Appropriations Committee just basically let it die.
Got it.
Right.
Got it.
So
Got
on the way to being voted, there's committees that'll kind of assess the viability of the bills. Mm-hmm. And really that comes down to lobbying and politics and having to interview each member of the Appropriations Committee to find out why they did not ask for it to be voted on.
It didn't have enough political muster to make it over there.
Well, so it didn't get vetoed. It's like a passive aggressive veto. It just died on the vine,
yeah,
right?
It just died. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then Gavin Newsom vetoed the decrim bill because, again, number one, as we saw Newsom's moves with legalization of cannabis in California, he only panders to the corporation. And the decrim bill would basically, again, block corporations from access to making money to this. And it would only be people who could grow it themselves, share or gift or do small level exchanges that would be allowed in the program. So it'd basically be like community freedom, not letting the corporations in. That was clearly the reason why Newsom blocked it.
And so to be just as context, and for our viewers who haven't read the article, the same senator who put this up and this one withered put something up last year, and that thing last year was vetoed by Newsom. So clearly Newsom is indicating that he doesn't have the desire to see this thing go through. I don't understand why. I mean, I don't see how there's a real societal harm if there are facilities where under supervision people are taking these types of intoxicants. I'm like,
well, Newsom did not. So the bill last year had no therapeutic centers. It was all decrim. Decriminalization just means if you're not trying to create generational wealth and 10x your business and have a bunch of et cetera, then you're allowed to navigate. If you're purely trying to mine the industry for profit, you're shut out. And the reason he vetoed that was because Gavin Newsom was made an entrepreneur by a $5 million gift from the Getty family, one of the oldest industrialists on the West Coast. So that's how he bought his winery and became an entrepreneur. It was a $5 billion gift, a family that owns a good share of all of the corporations in the world.
My dad is a Democrat, and he always said the moment Newsom came up in the game in San Francisco, he said that's a billionaire's boy, and he will never be our type of blue Democrat.
Yep.
And so Gavin doesn't know what it's like to try to cover a bill. Gavin doesn't have grit. Gavin probably has never got dirt under his fingernails.
Correct.
And Gavin doesn't have the integrity to not shtup his campaign manager's wife. So
you're right on with that, and that's what he did when he was running for re-election in San Francisco. It was disgusting.
He is not my Democrat.
We can also bring this back to the cannabis industry and reflect on pitch that was given, the vote that was made by everybody, and then the moment the vote was made, who worked to get rid of the 5-acre cap and who worked to get rid of the ban on vertical integration. That was all Gavin Newsom, pandering to corporate interests, because those are the people who, again, made him an entrepreneur and put him in the big watch club.
Yeah, it's interesting. Just to riff real quick, I'm sorry, Jason, but on Newsom, since we're on a Newsom moment, Gavin has always had aspirations for higher office, the gravelly voice, the good hair. He's always been clearly wanting to have the biggest possible stage. And it's been very clear since he was the mayor of San Francisco that he eventually had presidential aspirations. The thing I will just say as a political pundit here on High at 9 News is that the right has had a 5-year head start on denigrating him in a way that they have only gotten that head start with Hillary Clinton, right? And what I love about Gavin Newsom is that he brings the left and the right together, the red and the blue, because he's not liked by either side of the political spectrum. He is the great unifier, and we could all become unified in our disdain for his centrist bullshit fucking non-track record. And all we have to do is look back to gay marriage, right? When you are the mayor of San Francisco, I'm not saying you have to have a rainbow bumper sticker, but he never got out in front of the issue for same-sex couples to have the same benefits in America. He waited until it was a fait accompli. The horse was already in the stable, and then he came up and said, whoop-de, 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 whoop. And he did the exact same thing with regulated cannabis. He really didn't provide any benefit to either.
He was the first mayor that really spearheaded gay marriage.
No, he didn't spearhead it. The people did it, and as soon as it was already a done deal, he came in to take some credit.
I don't know if I'm buying all that, but